All right, so big story that was released today by ESPN, and you've got the Washington Commanders playing tonight against the Chicago Bears. What's the headline on this story, Paul?
The headline on ESPN.com, sources, Commanders boss Snyder claims dirt on NFL owners and Roger Goodell.
Okay. There's a couple of things. This is a really, really, really lengthy, well-researched, reported article, but here's something that stood out here. And I've said this before, and I've been told this in my circles, that Daniel Snyder has a lot of information on a few owners. But it's something that I've always thought nobody's really corroborated that, where they go, he's got this on this person. So Snyder recently told a close associate that he has gathered enough secrets to, quote, blow up several NFL owners, the league office, and even Commissioner Roger Goodell. And Snyder has privately said they can't bleep with me. He recently told an associate, this is in the article, the NFL is a mafia. All the owners hate one another. Then a veteran owner is quoted as saying that's not true. All owners hate Dan Snyder. There's also in the article, multiple owners and league and team sources say they've been told Snyder instructed his law firm to hire private investigators to look into other owners and Commissioner Roger Goodell. Okay, I need some proof. Because if you have proof there, then maybe you move towards getting Dan Snyder out of there. I mean, he's one of the worst owners in sports. They're waiting for him to get a new stadium. That stadium they have is embarrassing. The product that he's put on the field is embarrassing. And, when they suspend him and he's in the south of France on his yacht and we're supposed to believe, oh, wow, what a punishment there. That's incredible. His wife is supposed to be running the organization while he's in the south of France. Or maybe she's with him in the south of France. I have no idea. But this is all stuff that is sort of swirled around Daniel Snyder like a toilet bowl. What evidence do you have? And if you hired private investigators to dig up dirt on some of these owners, you need 24 owners to vote him out. And, Roger Goodell famously said in front of Congress, well, I can't oust him. The question was wrong that was asked. It's, can you start the process to get Daniel Snyder out? That's the question, because the commissioner can start the process. All that means is, let's take a vote. Well, he's not going to call for a vote unless he knows he's going to get at least 24 owners. But those owners, and some of those owners, high-profile owners, are probably thinking, oh, boy, if he knows that I voted to get him out, what's he going to say about me? Do I think Daniel Snyder has things on other owners? Yeah. I'm sure other owners have things on Daniel Snyder. But until we actually have something that's real, Daniel Snyder just continues to exist. But it almost felt like, as I'm reading it, and once again, it's well-researched, well-reported, but these are all the things that I've been told or believed, for 20 years now. And it was Paul Tagliabue, who was the owner, who said Daniel Snyder, the perfect choice to run the Washington Redskins at the time. And it's been embarrassing. In that town, and they deserve a whole lot better when it comes to football. Having been there when you had Theismann, Riggins, Dexter Manley, Art Monk, I mean, you deserve better. And if you win, you get a hall pass. That covers up everything. That's the great Clearasil that you can put on your face, the great deodorant. It's like, well, they're winning. But when you're not winning and you're an embarrassment, that's when you start to have some unrest. Yes, Eaton.
This is like the NFL just turned into an episode of Succession. All of this backroom deal. We should do that TV show about NFL owners.
Man. Yeah, this is one of those where they would, the NFL would go, hey,
it's not really
stop
like
doing
this.
that.
That's not what we do.
It's like when ESPN had playmakers, and then they complained to, I think Mark Shapiro was running ESPN. The league complained to ESPN like, hey, You better take that off the air. And they did, because they wanted to be involved in the NFL. And all of a sudden, the commissioner said, hey, that's not the way it is. Well, it turns out that the NFL actually worse than how it was portrayed with playmakers. Yeah, Paulie.
I can remember we interviewed Mark Shapiro, who was the content boss at the time, and we used to ask him something like, were you told that you won't have a seat at the negotiating table if you keep playmakers? And he had this big smile. He goes, something to that effect. One thing on this article.
Yeah, because we were told, hey, don't talk about playmakers, and they're going to take it off the air. I said to Paulie, I said, ask Mark Shapiro to come down one floor and come on the show. And so he didn't come down. He called down. He called from one floor above. And I'm like, were you told? Like, basically, if you continue to air playmakers, you're not going to be involved in NFL negotiations. And he basically said, yeah, Paulie.
Going back to this Daniel Snyder article, I read through it a couple times. It's like every accusation of Daniel Snyder, it's 80% there. They don't have corroboration in the article that he hired private investigators or had his law firm do so. If they had, that would be a real toughie, because that would be proof that he's doing surreptitious things against owners. And
we're at the goal line. We're at the goal line.
We always are.
But it feels like it's always first and goal with Daniel Snyder. And we've been at the goal line for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden, as we've mentioned, once the season starts, it sort of dissipates, where you go, wait, what was Daniel Snyder in trouble for? He was being subpoenaed. What did he do with the cheerleaders, and what is sexual harassment? Well, I forget. Hey, what's the games this week? Hey, Kansas City plays Buffalo, and the Eagles play the Cowboys. Yeah, that's what we care about. We move past this. Washington deserves better than this. It's a shame.